Welcome to Always Analog, where we celebrate the beauty of analog technology in the digital world. Today we're going to take a look at a pencil. We're going to look at a Blackwing volume, in this case volume 651. This was released a couple of months ago in September, and I don't do a lot of Blackwing reviews on this channel because I don't happen to have a subscription to Blackwing pencils, but I like Blackwing pencils. I've always found them to be outstanding in terms of their quality, and I thought that I would showcase this because it was a recent release, and this was a gift from pencil pal Leigh. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank Leigh, who shared not only this but a number of Blackwing volumes with me, and I was just so overwhelmed and delighted that he would share those with me, and I'm going to review a number of them in the weeks and months ahead because they're so interesting. But let's talk about Blackwing pencils just for a minute. I think most people who pay attention to pencils are certainly familiar with Blackwing. These are made by California Cedar. They are made in Japan. They have a Japanese core, but they have a incense cedar barrel, and they are available basically in 4 different cores: a soft, a balanced, a firm, and an extra firm. And in the standard Blackwing line, the soft is referred to as the matte. The balanced is referred to as the pearl. I have reviewed that pencil here before. The firm core is the famous Blackwing 602, and the extra firm is the natural. But a few times a year they come out with a volumes, which is a special edition earmarked to celebrate a person or a place or a thing, something that has had an impact on our collective culture. So they released this volume 651, and maybe you can see here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, that image many of you will instantly recognize is the famous Bruce Leigh. He was, of course, a martial artist, an actor, philosopher, teacher. He wore a lot of hats, and his life, unfortunately, was cut short, but he did a lot of fairly remarkable things in the time he was here with us. And this volume is a celebration of his life. And the 651 number, the pencil is shown here on the side. The 651 is a homage to an address, 651 South Weller Street in Seattle, Washington, which was the location of Bruce Lee's first formal school. So these volumes come in a box of a dozen. Beautiful box, beautiful graphics, very well done. And the back gives you sort of the explanation of what it is or who it is, in this case, that Blackwing is celebrating with this particular release of the pencil. And then they give you a little at the bottom here, sort of a little synopsis of the pencil itself. So let me see if I can get some light on this so we can really see what we're looking at here. There we go. So you can see, it will tell you the finish is black and yellow, the ferrule is silver, the eraser is yellow, the imprint on the pencil is white, and the graphite is extra firm. And this was released in September of 2021. So you've got basically this box here, and then we'll push out, take the sleeve out, and you have this box, Blackwing logo at the top. On the bottom, made in Japan, and it has the genuine incense cedar logo, and it lifts off here. Here's our pencils. So you can see as they were described on the outside. One thing about Blackwings I found in every case is that you can almost count on them being really spot on in terms of the graphite being, the core being centered in the barrel. And certainly this group of pencils, this 651 volume here, is no exception. Beautifully centered, and you can even see the beautiful tone of that cedar wood. And if you get close enough to them, you can get a little sniff. So we'll put these back and we'll just take a closer look at one of these. Yeah. So here's the pencil itself. And, you know, the other thing that Blackwing, although there's 4 variations on the pencil in terms of the core, and the rest is a different finish, a different treatment of how the pencil looks. And in the group that Leigh sent me, just going through them, all of them, although each are different and unique in terms of their design and their color, they're all really beautifully done in terms of the finish, the paint job, and really the imprint. I mean, you can see it is very crisp, clean. The ferrules are glued on really well. Of course, the eraser, which some people who really love their Blackwings and collect them often will make it their own, and they might, you know, these erasers are available in all kinds of colors, and they may change the eraser out and customize it a little bit, which is part of the fun. But I think even here you can just see it is, you can see the paint job. You can see this is, you know, it's a pencil, but the care really given to a quality paint job is there. You see it. Now, when this was originally released and sort of teased out, a lot of people in the pencil community were making comparisons to this pencil, which is a lot less expensive than the Blackwing. This is the Staedtler Norris pencil. Good pencil, by the way. Pretty sure I've reviewed it here on Always Analog. But its color scheme is slightly, I mean, it's yellow and black. And the yellows are very similar. I mean, you know, when you look here, very similar in terms of the tonality of that yellow. And so a lot of people thought it was just, you know, like, okay, so it's just a Norris dressed up, but it's not really. I mean, it's a very different pencil, and the paint job is not quite the same. The Norris has a couple of these thinner pinstripes right on the hex, and of course it has the cap at the end, but the colors are pretty much the same, and so people were having fun. Or putting a Blackwing ferrule on their Norris and doing those kinds of things. But this is a different pencil. The similarity kind of ends at the colors. So anyways, I'm going to sharpen this up. And again, I have reviewed a pearl on this channel before, which is their balanced core. This is their extra firm. So if you bought a Blackwing Natural, which is a beautiful pencil, just finished in that, the wood is just plain, not painted, it would have the same core in it as this pencil. So the writing experience would probably be about the same. So the difference here is really on the outside with this 651. So let's get it sharpened and do a little bit of writing. I'm going to use just a sharpener here, a little hand sharpener. I think this is an Apsara. But I really want to see the beautiful ribbon. Oh boy, now you can really smell that cedar that comes off of these pencils when you sharpen them. And because that core is centered so nicely, they usually sharpen really beautifully. So there it is. So we've got it sharpened up. And let's well, you may or may not be able to tell right off the bat. It's very quiet. And it's very quiet because it's very smooth. And even though this is an extra firm, the thing about Blackwing always was, even when Blackwing was produced by Eberhard Faber, like from 1934, I think up until the mid to late 90s, and then they discontinued them. The whole idea behind the Blackwing pencil was that it had the smoothness of a softer core pencil, but had the retention of a higher or a harder core pencil. So it was, half the pressure, twice the speed, or what their slogan. Maybe it's the other way around. I can't remember now. But the idea was that, the pencil really wrote beautifully, and without having to press down hard, you could get a beautifully nice line. And that's, I think, why the pencil was so popular amongst writers, creative people, illustrators, cartoonists, writers, musicians, and things like that. So even though they say this is the extra firm core, this really even feels to me softer and much smoother than a number 2 HB pencil. When you see extra firm, you think, oh, it's going to be like a number 4. And a traditional number 4 pencil is fairly light, can be a little scratchy. And so that's what your expectation is. And then you write with this, and it's completely different. Yeah, and And I be honest with you, I don't. It's not any news to people who are very submerged in the pencil world that these are lovely pencils in pretty much every regard, and they do write beautifully. Yeah, so smooth. I mean, this is a pencil you can write with just for hours and hours. How quiet that pencil is. Let's look at our point. It's holding out fairly well. So here's the attached eraser. And generally the Blackwing erasers are fairly decent. Let me zoom in a little bit here so we can really see how it's performing. You can see, though, it's leaving a little bit of a shadow. Let's try some of our favorite block erasers. We'll start with a Mars plastic. Well, that's got the attached eraser beat hands down, doesn't it? Let's try a Pentel. Also excellent. Let's try a foam eraser here. Arch. Very good. Let's try a Dixon Pink Carnation. Okay. Not a Raj. Oh, what else we got? A Magic Rub. Milan. Okay. Well, here's the attached eraser. Here's every other eraser I just tried. I think in terms of overall erasability, it's excellent. I mean, I'm giving it an A- only because the minus is the attached eraser only really does a fair job. I wish it was better, but the core is very erasable. So So nice to write with. So, there it is. The Blackwing Volume 651, tribute to Bruce Leigh. The Blackwing pencil in a alternating black and yellow design, yellow eraser, silver ferrule, extra firm graphite core, incense cedar barrel, and a nice, beautiful writing experience. So thank you for spending some time with me for this pencil review. If you do like what I do here, please share, like, and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon here on Always Analog.